Welcome to Focus on Firming Your Foundation. I like to bring this class based on foot health back around every so often because it's good to have reminders to take care of our feet. They are how we get around. It's the base of our body when we're standing up. And it's important for us to pamper them for a couple of reasons. One, it keeps them flexible, right? So if we walk around a lot in shoes, which many of us do for a good part of the day, we're stabilizing the foot, we're supporting the foot, and that's great to support us, but sometimes it can take away some of the flexibility in our feet. We have 26 bones in each foot and 25 bones in each hand. So what that says is that the way our feet and our hands are built is they're meant to be flexible, right? Our hands do all sorts of dexterous different things all day long, and our toes, our feet are actually meant to do the same. We just have evolved in a culture where we wrap our feet up every single day in shoes. So I highly recommend, if it's available for you, to take your shoes off at least once a day. I mean, hopefully you do when you go to bed. But before that, as you walk around the house, to give your feet an invitation, an opportunity to find its flexibility, find uneven terrain so that you can build some intelligence back into your feet. What this also does is it connects your brain and your feet together. So when you're walking around and you're feeling the floor, if you take a moment to just lift and lower your feet, you can feel your feet. That's sending signals, oh, here's where my feet are, to your brain. And why that's important is it helps with balance, it helps with keeping yourself upright and being able to have a healthy gait when we're walking around in those shoes. So I want to offer you a couple of things that you can do to love your feet, to smush on your feet, to give it so much love and care that they will take care of you back. So it might be available for you to just bring your leg across this way. But if it's not, because this is how we're going to get into loving our feet. But if that's not available, I'm going to offer you some stretches to kind of come in that way. I like to offer stretches so we're not coming in cold if it's not available. So there's something for everyone. So we're going to butterfly the legs. Take one hip, circle it up. Make sure you're not circling the knee. I see this sometimes in classes. You're going to circle it into the hip socket, lubricating the hip socket, one direction and then the other, holding under the thigh. And then if it's available, you're going to cross that right ankle across the left knee. If your body's saying, you want me to do what? Honor your body, and you're just going to keep the foot down. And then if you're here, you're going to roll to toes, roll to heels, roll to inside part of your foot, the outer edge, and just make intelligent connection with the earth. You're going to hug the earth with your toes. And then I'll give you something else in a moment. If you're here, you can massage your feet, right? This is something that's great to do at the end of the day. Maybe take a foot soak with Epsom salts to kind of drain the tension away of the day. I have some foot cream by my bed, and sometimes I try to do it once a week at least, give my foot a nice little massage. So you can interlace fingers and toes if you have access to your foot. Opening the toes with the fingers gently. I have a bunion on the side, so I have to go easy. If you have anything going on, just be mindful. Hugging the fingers with the toes. If this isn't available, you can open and close the toes manually, stretching out the fascia or that network in your foot. Massaging the ball mound, the toe mound, the sole, the heel. Just give a little love to your foot. So that's a really great thing to do to your foot. If putting your leg here is just not available, that's fine. We want to meet you where you are. I also have this little foot care box that I use, and I keep it or I move it to where I might be in still points if I'm watching something on my computer or I'm typing for a little while. You can take a tennis ball, not on a wood surface floor, I find. If you do that, you might need a goalie, right? It'll, and then you'll be chasing the tennis ball around. So on a carpet or maybe your yoga mat, you're going to push the foot onto the tennis ball and just massage. Oh, it feels so good. To the heel, through the sole, all the way through the ball mound to the toes, around the whole surface of your foot. I'm just going to give it a little loving scrub. If you have plantar fasciitis or anything like that that limits the stretching of your foot, the flexibility of your foot, you're going to start small and just use the tennis ball. Once you've been doing it for a while, you might be able to get like one of these little bouncy balls that you can get in like the coin machine at the supermarket. And then you can push and flex, and it gets into the deeper parts of your muscles. So as I said, if it's too much in the beginning, you'll have to work up to that, but it does feel really good if you can get there. So just find whatever of those works for you. So if you're still here loving your foot and massaging your feet, there's also some good foot creams, organic, healthy foot creams that you can put. I've heard mint. I use a mint oil. Is good for your feet. I forget why. I'll have to look it up. But I use a mint cream. And then we're just going to give a little stimulation to the bottom of the foot, little tip tap. So again, your brain is like, oh, there's my foot. I feel it, right? Sending signal, keeping that communication together. If you're here, you're going to just tip tap, giving the same signal. If you're here, you're going to gently rock the baby out of this and then lower the foot, and we'll do the other side. So just butterfly in between sides, take a breath. Feel how loved that foot feels right now. We want to offer love to the other foot, so let's do that. Pressing into that right foot, we're going to hug and lift under the left thigh and give little stirs, circles, one direction and then the other. And again, if it's available, it's going to be different on this side. Might be available on one side and not the other. If it's available, maybe left ankle goes across right knee. And then we can start loving on our foot, interlacing fingers and toes, or maybe opening and closing manually, massaging the whole foot. You can even flex and point, stretch at the ball mounds. That's another really good one to do. Again, go easy if you have tension, or if you haven't done this in a while, your feet are kind of like sleepy. Over time, you'll build the flexibility. If you're here, same thing, rolling, hugging, rolling around. And then you can also, another good exercise for your feet is just take a tissue, drop it on the floor, and grab it with your toes. Take a moment to find a way to grab it. You can hand it to your friend, your husband, your wife, whoever. And that's a good thing to keep your toes nice and intelligent and flexible. Eventually, you can graduate to a washcloth. Or that stray sock that didn't make it to the hamper, and then you can toss it in there. So I do that all the time to keep my toes nice and flexible, to keep my feet nice and intelligent. So if you're here, you're going to tip tap, little love messages, stimulate those nerve endings. And then we're going to rock the baby out of it and lower the foot down. So take a moment to notice. Bring your hands to your heart and just take a breath. Notice your feet. Wiggle out your toes. Are they feeling a little happier? Are they feeling a little crampier? If that's the case, maybe you should do this more often. Maybe you should go get foot massages or reflexology. Just notice. When we notice, it's without judgment. It's just to give us information to help us tend to our needs, to honor our needs and support ourselves. And take another deep breath in. Exhale, release. And then blink open your eyes and lower your hands. So I hope you start to take care of your feet and honor them. I always say, we don't think about certain things until something happens to them. So I broke my finger, so now I'm going to think about my finger. But as soon as it's healed, we don't think about it, right? So what can you do to honor your feet if you haven't? Some of these tools hopefully will be of service to you and your feet. So here's to you firming your foundation.